Everyone says Singapore is the perfect place for traveling with kids. We went for 6 days. It rained every single day we were there. Attractions closed, taxi prices tripled. So we had to figure out one thing. How do you actually survive Singapore with a toddler in the rain? What actually works and what doesn't? Landing in Singapore hit us immediately. Heat, humidity, and everything gets expensive fast. During holidays, taxi prices can easily go 2 to 3 times. We later learned to use Dig, the local taxi app. It's cheaper than Grab, but less accurate, so you have to type the exact address. We stayed in a serviced apartment near Orchard Road. Not a tourist hub, but a great trade-off. What we lost in location, we gained in space and a full kitchen. And in this weather, the in-apartment washer-dryer wasn't a luxury, it was essential. Our first dinner was the famous bak kut teh. Peppery, intense, great for adults. But for kids, too much. So always have a backup. Plain noodles, rice, something familiar. And there is one habit that worked every trip. Stock up on simple vegetables on day 1. Cucumbers, cherry tomatoes, fruit from the supermarket. It's the easiest way to keep some balance for kids. That was day 1. Nothing went wrong, but everything felt harder than expected. Day 2, the rain started to shape everything. We saw the Merlion under a gray sky. Not quite the postcard moment you imagine. We tried to move indoors, but that's exactly where everyone else goes. Indoor doesn't mean easy, it means crowded. At TeamLab, the ticket system crashed under the pressure, and the quiz just kept growing. At Gardens by the Bay, we saw both sides. Flower Dome worked. Bright, open, easy. Leo was running around and loving every minute. But Cloud Forest, with waterfalls and giant dinosaurs, was overwhelming. Leo shrank into his stroller, visibly shaking. That's when we learned, kid-friendly doesn't always mean emotionally safe. The rain stopped as we got to the super trees. The cheerful Chinese New Year music, clashing with the futuristic trees, brought us second day to a feeding close. We stopped following our plans and started adjusting hour by hour. Day 3, it was pouring from the moment we woke up. So we gave up on the zoo and went indoors instead. That's how we ended up at the National Gallery. I didn't expect much because their main kids area was closed for renovations. But that turned out to be the best part. The big halls and long corridors were mostly empty, perfect for Leo to race his toy cars. They even had some simple activity stations. He followed the map, collected stamps, and got his sticker at the end. Sometimes, the simplest setups are the most fun for kids. Food remained a challenge. We tried a beautiful Peranakan place in the National Gallery, but the flavors were just too complex for our boy. Every meal became a trade-off between what we wanted and what he would actually eat. Just when we thought we had it figured out, Day 4 proved us wrong. We raced the ring to the Singapore Zoo. The place was amazing.
There's always an African lion exhibit.
Leo was completely captivated in the fragile forest, checking out all the smaller creatures. It really showed why this zoo is considered one of the best in the world. But getting out was the real problem. The rain caught up with us by lunch. We couldn't find any taxis at all. We ended up on a bus, and Leo fell asleep in his stroller, so we went with it. Bus, then train, then a long walk back to the hotel. If you're going far with a kid, always have a backup way home. Dinner that night at Ion's Jumbo Seafood finally felt like a win. We got our chili crab, and Leo couldn't get enough of the sweet cereal prawns. It was a splurge, but worth it. After dinner, something cute happened. Leo made a friend. a chatty and friendly boy, and they started playing right away. They were so happy. But then the other boy pulled out a toy car, and all our cars were back at the hotel. You could see Leo's little face fall. He didn't make a scene. He just walked away, quiet and upset. That's when it hit me. A $5 toy car beats a $500 dinner. Always bring their favorite thing handy. By day 5, we stopped trying to make the trip perfect. We just went with the flow. At Sentosa, we didn't pre-book anything. We ended up waiting over an hour, but it let Leo ride the island monorail as much as he wanted. The Sky Luge was surprisingly fun. We did it 3 times. But the real moment was the sky ride. Leo was scared, so we made a deal. If he did it, he'd get a new toy car I had prepared. He swallowed his fear and stayed completely still all the way up. We were so proud. Later at the restaurant, we ran into the same boy from the night before. What a wonderful coincidence! This time, Leo walked over first, holding his cars ready to share. Watching them play, seeing him beam with pride, it was the real highlight of the day. Since the rain was still pouring, we gave up on the beach and headed into the Sentosa Oceanarium. It started with glowing jellyfish, quiet, almost unreal. Leo was curious about everything. In front of the massive shark tank, he said to himself, "They're behind glass. It's safe." That's when I realized he wasn't less scared. He was learning how to deal with it. On our last day, we finally made it to Chinatown. It was busy, simple, not spectacular, but a real part of the city. And we found a really good bowl of frog porridge in the neighborhood. We ended at Jewel Changi, the indoor waterfall in the train, packed fouls, everything running at full capacity. It looks amazing, but during peak season, everything takes time. So if you want to shop, it's better to do it in the city. Don't leave it all for the airport. Our Singapore trip wasn't the trip we planned. It rained every day. Plans kept changing. But we also found systems that worked. Bring familiar food options. Use stick when prices spike. Always carry a small reward. But more importantly, we saw Leo learn how to handle fear, how to adapt, and how to keep going anyway. With kids, you don't get perfect trips. You get real ones. And if you stop trying to control everything, they usually turn out better than you expect, just not in the way you planned.